welcome to Investors Guide. We have a packed show lined up for you today. Like we do every week, we're answering your questions, planning your portfolios, and of course, helping you get rich. Now, speaking of that, you can write to us. There's an email ID at the bottom of your screen right now. Let's get straight to it. This is what we're going to be doing on this show this week. First up, if you're a young couple investing together, we'll tell you how to create portfolios that complement each other. We also know RBI has been increasing interest rates all year. We'll tell you how you can profit from those high interest rates. And in our final segment, we answer all of your questions on insurance. All right, let me quickly introduce Dhirendra Kumar, the CEO of Value Research and our in-house mutual fund expert who joins us every week to answer our questions. Dhirendra, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Let's get straight to our portfolio versus portfolio segment. As Srinivas writing from Hyderabad, he started investing 1,000 rupees in each of these mutual funds last year. He has 5 mutual funds on his list. He tells us he has a time horizon of 20 years and he plans to make 20 lakh rupees in that 20 years. These are these funds he's invested in: the SBI Magnum Contra, Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity, HDFC Prudence, HDFC Top 200 and Reliance Regular Savings Equity. Now, he also invested in a couple of funds with a 5-year horizon: IDFC Premier Equity Plan and the BSE BlackRock World Gold Fund. He wants to know if he should continue investing in these funds or should he replace a couple of these funds in his portfolio. Now, the interesting part of his question is that he tells us he and his wife are investing in 5 different funds right now. Should they consolidate their funds and make one portfolio and have only 5 funds between the two of them, or should they continue 2 separate units? And this is important because while we make individual portfolios, a lot of the times married couples want a combined portfolio because they have combined expenses and they have combined investments. So for someone like this, what would you recommend first from looking at his portfolio, and then about the fact that he wants to combine his investments with his wife?
Firstly, his selection of funds, it looked fine, and he has clearly segregated that, and it looks like a very clear strategy that these are my investments for where I am going to accumulate over the next 20 years. And the portfolio looks fine except for Magnum Contra, which is completely out of favor and just refuses to go to do well in recent years. So I would say just make a small change, and that looks fine. Your portfolio for next 5 years, where you are investing regularly, I wonder, should it have BSE BlackRock World Gold Fund? It has to. It's a fairly, it is doing well. There's a great deal of optimism, but it can give bad surprises. So it should be a very small part of your portfolio, and not in a portfolio where you are likely to need that money in the next 5 years. The other is that should you combine or should you segregate your portfolio? I think there are 2 goals which has to be achieved when looking at your portfolio. One is the pure investment goal, that whether you combine or whether you replicate. If you are buying 5 funds, investing regularly, should your wife be replicating that? If it is a great, if you have put in effort, it will be worthwhile to replicate that.
I'm going to stretch your advice a little bit here. Looking at the 4 funds that he has right now in his portfolio, would you be able to recommend a portfolio for his wife, or recommend a direction she should be going in to complement the one that he already has?
Yes, I think, given the time frame that he has 20 years to invest, I think our aggressive portfolio should do much better, and we will keep track of it. So in terms of guidance of something to be weeded out of the portfolio, something to be added to the portfolio, we'll be able to provide that periodically. That's one. The other is keeping an eye, and as he gets closer to his goal, you start, and right now your time frame is 20 years, but as he gets closer, when you are 5 years away from your goal, I think it will be worthwhile to get into more our conservative portfolio or something like that, and gradual migration instead of doing it one fine day. I think you invest regularly, you disinvest regularly, and you change your allocation as you get closer to your goal regularly. I think that is another dimension which you should keep in mind.
All right, Srinivas, that's the advice going out to you. Remember, other than the Magnum Contra, the rest of your portfolio is absolutely bang on. You should continue investing in those. And Dhirendra, they're recommending that your wife pick up our aggressive portfolio to complement the one that you have. That way we can track it regularly as well. Remember, you can write to us if you have any more questions. Let's move on now to our hold or sell segment. Well, Ramdas Nayak has written in. He tells us he's 40 years old and he's been investing in the following funds since 2008. He sent us a list of the funds that he's been investing in. He wants you to tell him which of these funds he should be holding or selling. The first one is the HDFC Equity Fund. Hold or sell?
It's a hold. It's a very impressive fund. He should continue investing in that.
He's also given us the HDFC Equity Fund as a dividend option. Now, should he have a dividend option right now, or do you think that he should just roll that into one and have them both in the same growth option?
Yeah, I think he should roll it into one, and he should just have the growth option. Keep an eye on the growth option because it is important to change that now. One is that when you are investing in equity, your need is not to derive some periodic income. If at all you have to, do it at time of your choice and quantum of as much as you require, and open-end fund you can redeem the amount you want at any time of your choice. So don't depend on so dividend plan is not a desirable way of accumulating. The other is that once DTC comes into play, whatever dividend you get, there will be a 5% dividend distribution tax. So that is an undesirable tax, that is an avoidable tax, and that is can be legitimately avoided by just being in the growth option.
Alright, the next two funds are index funds from HDFC. The first one of which is the HDFC Nifty Index. Should he be hanging on to this one?
No, I don't know why he should be having that in the first place. If he has HDFC equity, and if you look at past 5 year, 3 year, or a declining market or a rising market, I think HDFC equity has been able to beat the index by a wide margin. So the need to have an index fund right now in your portfolio is only when you can't do the selection yourself. But if you can choose a good fund and keep a track of that, I don't think index funds make a reasonable case as of now.
Right, obviously that would apply also to the HDFC Sensex fund. Should he be selling this one as well, Dhiren?
Yes, both of it.
But the first half of his portfolio was heavily tilted towards HDFC. The second half was tilted towards SBI. The SBI Global Dividend Fund and the Global Growth Fund again split into two. Should he be hanging on to this one?
No, this is another fund which is fairly unimpressive. This fund is a mid-cap fund, though called Global, and SBI has quite a few of them. And SBI equity funds are completely out of favor for a while now. And I think he'll do well to be out of it.
And the last fund of the list is the SBI Index Fund, again split into dividend and growth. I'm just going to use both of that as one fund. SBI Index, is that a fund he should be hanging on to?
No, as I said earlier that if he's able to choose a good fund, then and for his long-term portfolio, index funds don't present a very compelling case. So I don't think that the index fund should be there, and all index funds are nearly equal. Whether it be HDFC or SBI, there could be a nominal difference of the tracking error, but the tracking error or the funds with lower tracking error does not necessarily make index fund more attractive. So I would say even this is a sell.
So if we look at his portfolio, all that he has left right now is the HDFC Equity Fund, the index funds we've asked him to get rid of, and the global fund we've asked him to get rid of. So would you recommend one of our portfolios instead for someone like this? He's written in saying he's planning for his retirement. He's 40 years old, which means he has about 10 or 15 years to go. Which of our portfolios would you recommend for Ramdas?
I think he should just map his investment to either our stable growth portfolio or our growth portfolio, depending on the time he has. If he has more than 15 years, then I think he can well choose our growth portfolio, and that will be 4 or 5 funds, and he should split that money. Even if he's not making 10,000, that is our assumption there. But even if he's doing regularly saving 5,000 or 7,000 rupees, he should proportionately spread his money like the growth portfolio, and that should help him achieve his goal.
Alright, Ramdas, that's the advice going out to you. Remember, write back to us if you have any more questions about your investments, and if you have questions for Dhirendra Kumar, write to us. This is email ID at the bottom of your screen. We're going to slip into a quick break. On the other side, Dhirendra Kumar is going to stay with us, and we're going to review the Sundaram Select Mid Cap Fund. Stay with us.